Right, Caan. Now, this is quite interesting being a trader because Betfair actually contacted you to promote them, showing people how it should be done, as far as I know. Unlike bookmakers that wouldn't want anybody to show anybody how to win. So, how did the association with Betfair, apart from just using them as a platform, come about?
Yeah, sure. So Betfair contacted me back in 2014, I believe it was. I was a bit surprised at the time myself, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, someone from Betfair who was looking to boost their marketing of the exchange was looking about. Obviously, they could see my account, they could see what was going on there, probably seen the blog as well. And so they reached out, said, would you like to feature in this? Maybe I was a bit young and naive, I didn't get paid. But yeah, they featured me on their marketing material as a consistent winner, and that was that.
Okay, now I've interviewed quite a few professional gamblers, more traditional professional gamblers on the Betting People series, because people like aspiration. They like to see that it is possible. In reality, a lot of these people are extremely talented, and most people probably can't emulate their success. Is trading something that a lot more people can, if they work at it, win at?
Yeah, um, I mean, obviously, I'm going to say yes to that because I am proof that that's possible. I don't consider myself to be any kind of sort of Stephen Hawkins type. Obviously, started at McDonald's, went into the army, ended up betting for a living full time. So it's certainly possible, something that people can emulate. Although at the same time, I think to be completely honest with you and frank as well, it is a zero sum game, as is betting. So there's always going to be more losers than there is winners. There'll be some nice success stories amongst that, but what I'm trying to say, I think, is that split and that divide between winners and losers will always be there. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but you certainly don't need some kind of crazy degree from Cambridge or something like that in order
Yeah,
to.
they do your level best to ensure people do get the knowledge to win, because you're very prolific these days on YouTube. You're making very high quality videos to explaining to people, how it's done, or the theory behind how it's done. Is that a sort of another string to your bow as far as income's concerned, because they're free to view on YouTube?
Yeah, sure. So you already previously mentioned the blog. I never intended it to be like that, but when I started out initially, obviously there was the blog. It gathered a little bit of a following. YouTube become part of that. It's obviously an easy way to sort of express and share information from your screen. So that's how YouTube started. It is an additional income stream. It's really not what people expect it to be honest. I do it because I enjoy it also at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't share some things that are useful. It helps me diversify in terms of income streams, gives me a taxable income as well, which is something that people don't often think about when people are betting for a living. And also, it helps me fill those gaps throughout the day in terms of the morning and afternoon, because shortly after going full time, I realised that you're going to sit around with your thumb up your jacksie sort of until 12 o'clock when the racing starts, and then just work a few hours a day. So yeah, that's where the YouTube come from. Plus, of course, it helps with the premium charge. So for people that aren't aware, long term winners on Betfair that are successful do have to pay an additional charge to the house to Betfair for the benefit of doing that. So it helps give me multiple income streams, taxable income, and yeah.
And then another thing that's come about recently, well, I think recently, matched betting. Now, I was amazed. I wrote a blog about it for Star Sports a while back. Even my little 18-year-old niece is into matched betting to help fund her university. Now, is that something that you've touched on? Do you actually do it yourself?
No, no, I've never done match betting myself. Excluding maybe if we were to go back many years, I thought it was a relatively obvious thing to do to kind of like take a free, take the opening offer and lay it off on the exchange, so there's no risk, and then sort of milk the bonus. But that what you said there about your niece, that's a popular thing for people to do now going to university. I guess you're asking because I own half of Profit Rush, which is a free match betting service. It has similarities to trading, so some people like to use it as a stepping stone to come into the world of trading. Obviously, you've got your backs, your lays, hedging, and all that kind of stuff, which is very similar. Although I should say they are not the same. Also, it's just kind of like a low risk side income thing, which has become very popular amongst the masses.
Okay, what's that website?
Yeah, it's profitrush.com.
Okay, lovely. Now you are very productive. You've written an Amazon a book you sell on Amazon.
Yeah,
Betfair trading made simple. Yeah.
that's correct. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, that's just a
is that
starter. It's a starter guide for anybody who kind of comes across trading, doesn't understand the basics. Good starting reference, shows you some of the problems that you're going to have early on, the basics, the kind of like the anatomy of the trade. Obviously, I've had like 10 years of spare time either side there to compile some of these things. I don't like to sit around too much anyway. So aside from sitting in the sun having a beer,
okay? So, but you say that, but there's a lot of sport on. Uh, there's a lot of racing. You could pretty much 24-hour sport if you wanted to do it. So, how many hours a day would you spend in front of the computer actively trading?
yeah, that's fair enough. And I mean, it depends on what I'm targeting, but I mean, the main focus and always has been from the start is horse racing. So if you think horse racing card this time of year, racing's usually on sort of 12 till 5. The winter is 2 till 5. So I'm only trading for actually 4 or 5 hours a day when I'm actually actively trading in the market. So it does give me time either side, and obviously over that 10-year period, that's been a significant amount of time to build these extra income streams, just like we're talking now, really. I suppose before the racing starts today.
Okay, so apart from the premium charge, of course, which is high, do you use do you sort of get involved with Arbing? Do you use traditional bookmakers accounts at all? So you get restricted?
I am restricted just about everywhere. You may have seen, and lots of people have. There's several videos on my YouTube channel about that because I find it quite frustrating that they behave in the way they do. But at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. Whether you're arbing or betting at value or finding a good price, they're going to treat you the same way. Whether you're beating the price there and then and it's an open arb, or if you're back in the morning and then the price halves by the afternoon and the race goes off, they're treating people in the same way and restricting accounts. So I don't arb, I don't do that because it wouldn't really be worth the time for me. But I have better
Of course,
value.
Arbing being the word that the bookmakers like to use for people that are just trying to get the best price, of course.
Yeah, yeah, of
Um,
course. On the other side of that, I think, and things like price abuse and stuff like that. But I think now with the affordability checks and that, it's fair to say that the other side of the fence, they're
yeah.
abusing affordability checks and stuff too.
Okay. Now, a lot of your videos, you're coming up with new stuff, new ways to win all the time. Now, how, how much research do you have to put in? How many things do you try that fall flat on their face before you find another strategy?
Yeah, well, you have to evolve and develop. Um, and it's probably the less glamorous truth. And I'm glad you've asked that because I don't talk about it so much anymore because people just generally don't seem interested in hearing about it. But I've spent countless hours analysing various characteristics, limitations of marketplaces, and failed on paper with certain lines of thinking, trying to prove or disprove certain things. I've failed a lot, but I don't believe in failing with my own money. Is one thing that I would like to say because I like to try and prove, disprove, and understand why something works first.
Okay, now, I'm assuming that you get a few quid off of your new strategies before you decide to share them on YouTube. I'm still trying to work out why you still want to share them.
Yeah, well, why not? I mean, there's certain things I certainly haven't shared everything on YouTube. Some people expect you to, other people don't ask questions like you are and say why would you do that? But I think maybe you're referring to one video in particular there, very popular one the last month or two ago, where I shared a strategy which will openly help you beat a bookmaker quite easily, and it works, and I've made a very significant amount of money from it over a period of time either side of the race cards in doing that. So I just thought, well, look, I'm restricted on just about every bookie that I've ever opened an account with, and there's a handful that I haven't. But if I'm restricted with them, I'm fully aware that they're clamping down on people that take value. They're going to try and block this out in the future and stop people from doing this. I've milked it fully, pretty much. So why not share that online? Oh, yes, I'll get a tiny amount of ad revenue. It's really not worth the time, to be honest. Probably worth about half a day's work. But at the same time, if I can help people and people that follow me and be genuine and honest in doing that in the process, then why the hell not? I just see that as a good thing to do. And so yeah, that's that. I hope that answers that, fella.